Hey guys, my name's Jalen Gales and I love to travel. So I'm Jalen, you're watching my YouTube channel. If you are a returning subscriber, hey. If you're a new subscriber, then welcome. Man, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Sorry if my tongue is like a different color. I literally just got finished eating a popsicle. Do you remember the ice cream trucks? And it would come around and it would have the red, white, and blue popsicle, okay? It was called a hyper stripe. They rebranded it to just like a striped popsicle, or just they renamed it to something they renamed it. I'll insert a picture over here, but basically I was just eating one of them and I really liked them. They're so good, they're so good. Back to the point, I love to travel. Fun fact, I travel pre-COVID, okay? Post-COVID, and a little bit during COVID, I'm not gonna lie. So I think that my traveling expertise has definitely expanded over the last couple of years, and I have enough info to give y'all the real insights. So without further ado, let's go ahead and answer some of your most asked travel questions. Let's get it. Number one, this is probably the biggest question that's ever asked about traveling internationally, okay? What do I need to travel internationally? Well, let me go ahead and answer that question right now for you right now. You're gonna need a passport, and there's a few locations where you can actually get a passport from. One could be if you're in school, your institution. They may offer free passport applications or a waivered fee when it comes to the application process, which you can get from your institution. You can also get it from the post office. The post office is a big place where people can get their passports from. There are also some like one-off, smaller, or even larger companies that you can start your passport application through them with. But either way, it's gonna be a little bit of money up front. You're looking at about $50 if you can get lower, cheaper rates through your institution to $250. So it is a little bit of money, to get the passport itself. But once you get that passport, you can travel everywhere. You can do anything, you can go anywhere, especially if you have an American passport. The American passport is one of the strongest passports in the world in terms of where it allows you to go and how long you can stay there, and the documents that you need to enter into a country. So most of the times, you really only need a passport to enter into most of the countries out there in the world. One more tip with the passport. You're gonna need a passport picture, okay? You have to think about what your passport picture is gonna be. And in order to do that, you're gonna do a little research on the sizing. The sizing, I think, is 8x9. I'll go ahead and insert the exact measurements that are in there up there, but that's the size of the passport picture you're gonna be, and you're gonna need to get the picture before you do the application process, if that makes sense. So where you can get those pictures at, Walgreens, CVS, anywhere that they do those little headshots at. I think even Walmart does headshots too. So you can go to anywhere that does headshots and pay maybe $10, $20, $25, $30 to get a couple of headshots in there for your passport picture. Or if you want to be really finagle the system a little bit and save a little bit more money, you can get a white background and you can stand there and you can have someone take a picture of you with some great lighting. Good lighting with a white background, that's a passport picture, okay? They can resize it themselves. But basically, you're gonna have to get a passport picture, and then you can get the application from any of those other locations I had named. But those are gonna be the things that you need as far as the first step. Now, depending on where you're going, you may need another document. As I mentioned, I kind of threw it in there. You may need a visa, okay? Now with a visa, this allows you specifically access into this country. Like you can stay in this country for this long. So now a visa is a specific type of designation that is typically stamped onto your passport, and it gives you a certain type of access into a country. So if you're traveling internationally, you have student visas, you have work visas, and things of that nature. And so depending on why you're traveling to a country, you need to get a visa stamp onto your passport, and that's an additional fee in order to get that to get your visa. So that's something to consider. And visa fees can kind of vary. So if you're American, you're gonna pay depending on where you're going, maybe $25, $50 to a couple of $1,000s, depending on how long you plan on staying. But typically, your passport can get you in and out of a country for at least a couple of days, if not a couple of weeks. So if you want to stay there longer, then you have to get a visa in order to do that, or you become an alien and you're there illegally. Okay, so make sure passport, visa. Double check what type of visa you need in order to get into a country, like a tourist visa or something like that. And then also make sure you're checking for how many days that visa is valid, okay? How many days you can stay in a country with just your passport. You have to make sure you look at these things. So to travel internationally, what documents do you need? Number 1, a passport. Number 2, a visa. Once you get these 2 items, you are good to go, okay? And if you have an American passport or Canadian or European, some of these countries, if you have one of those passports, you may not even need a visa to get into the country you're traveling to and to stay there. But you need to worry about that visa if you're gonna stay there for a good amount of time, maybe a couple weeks or even a couple months. And you need to always check that just in case, because some countries may require you to have a tourist visa just to enter into there. So now it's important to note that getting a visa can be a little complicated. So don't try to get a visa the day before you're about to travel, or make sure you do your research before you solidify your travel plans and that travel date and give yourself enough wiggle room. But for some countries, going through the visa process can be like 4 days, a couple of days, And for other countries, it can take a couple of weeks. It really depends on where that country is ranked on the U.S. travel list if you're traveling from the U.S. to an international country. So like I'm saying, do a little research. You may have to submit some records in order to get that visa into that country. I know some countries are actually they still have in place their COVID regulations, so also consider that as well. But just make sure you do your research to make sure that you're gonna have all your ducks in a row before you actually go to travel, because international travel, y'all, is expensive. And if you're traveling from a Western country, like any of the Americas, North America, South America, it's even more expensive if you're trying to go to Europe or Africa or Asia or any of those other places, because the plane ticket is so expensive, guys. I'm telling you, the plane tickets to get from the west to the east is a lot of money, okay? So just be careful and make sure that you do your research beforehand. All right, guys, I hope this answers your question on what documents do you need to travel internationally. I feel like you guys know now. You need a passport, okay? And where do you go to get those passports? Any of these locations over here. And there's also some links down below if you're looking for any one-off locations or organizations where you can get your passport from. And yeah, go ahead and apply, y'all. Don't sit around. Don't let this moment pass you by. Do it now. Do it now. Your passport is also another form of identification. International travel is very important. You want to see the world and explore the world. And in order to expand your mind, to gain new experiences, you're going to have to go and see it, okay? So go and do it. Get that passport. Figure out your visa requirements. You can do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, highly recommended over here. We are a travel-friendly platform over here, okay? Thank you very much. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, like the video, okay? So share this video with your friends, with your family, with someone who you know is traveling soon, because these tips will literally save them a lot of money and help them speed up the process. There's no reason for them to go into any of this traveling shenanigans, traveling hoopla, and not know that they need a passport and not know these basics. So share this video to someone that's traveling soon, someone you know, okay? Like this video. Leave a comment down below on where you traveled to, what your process was like when you went to go get your passport, if you have your passport or not. Let's talk. I'm in the comment sections. I always respond back to you guys. Also, if you guys want more tips and tricks on traveling, I do have a little series that I've started, so go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions that you notice are not necessarily answered, or you're like, I don't really feel like going through this, then go ahead and comment down your question that you have, and I'll send you a link to the direct video, or I'll create a video on that question. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.